Adapted from archaic translation by H. T. Francis and R. A. Neal. Jataka number 382. Sirikālakaṇņi-Jātaka. Who is this, etc. The master told this tale in Jetavana monastery concerning Anathapindika. From the time when he was established in the fruition of the first path he kept all the 5 first commandments unbroken. So also did his wife, his sons and daughters, his hired servants and his workpeople. One day in the Hall of Truth they began to discuss whether Anathapindika was pure in his walk and his household also. The master came and was told their subject. So he said, "Brethren, the wise men of old had pure households," and told an old tale. Once upon a time when Brahmadatta was king in Benares, the bodhisattva was a merchant, giving gifts, keeping the commands, and performing the fast day duties. And so his wife kept the 5 commands, and so also did his sons, his daughters and his servants and workpeople. So he was called the merchant Suchiparavara. He thought, if one of purer morals than I should come, it would not be proper to give him my couch to sit on or my bed to lie on, but to give him one pure and unused. So he had an unused couch and bed prepared on one side in his presence chamber. At that time in the heaven of the 4 kings Kalakanni, daughter of Virupakkha, and Sire, daughter of Dhartaratha, both together took many perfumes and garlands and went on the lake Anattata to play there. Now on that lake there are many bathing places. The Buddhas bathe at their own place, the Paksika Buddhas at theirs, the brethren at theirs, the ascetics at theirs, the gods of the 6 karma heavens at theirs, and the goddesses at theirs. These 2 came there and began to quarrel as to which of them should bathe first. Kalakanni said, "I rule the world. It is proper that I bathe first." Sire said, "I look at the course of conduct that gives lordship to mankind. It is proper that I bathe first." Then both said, "The 4 kings will know which of us should bathe first." So they went to them and asked which of the 2 was worthy to bathe first in Anattata. Dhartaratha and Virupakkha said, "We cannot decide," and laid the duty on Virulha and Vesavana. They too said, "We cannot decide, we will send it to our Lord's feet." So they sent it to Sakka. He heard their tale and thought, "Those 2 are the daughters of my friends. I cannot decide this case." So he said to them, "There is in Benares a merchant called Suchiparavara. In his house are prepared an unused couch and bed. She who can first sit or lie there is the proper one to bathe first." Kalakanni hearing this on the instant put on blue clothings and used blue ointment and decorated herself with blue jewels. She descended from the heaven as on a stone from a catapult. And just after the mid-watch of night she stood in the air, diffusing a blue light, not far from the merchant who was lying on a couch in the presence chamber of his mansion. The merchant looked and saw her. But to his eyes she was ungracious and unlovely. Talking to her he spoke the first stanza. Who is this so dark of color? So unlovely to the view? Who are you, whose daughter, say? How are we to know you, I request? Hearing him, Kalakanni spoke the second stanza. The great king Virupakkha is my sire. I am misfortune, Kalakanni tough. Give me the house room near you I desire. Then the bodhisattva spoke the third stanza. What the conduct, what the ways of the men with whom you dwell? This is what my question prays. We will know the answer well. Then she, explaining her own qualities, spoke the fourth stanza. The hypocrite, the promiscuous, the ill-tempered, the man of envy, greed and treachery. Such are the friends I love. And I dispose their gains that they may perish utterly. She spoke also the fifth, sixth, and 7th stanzas. And dearer still are anger and hate to me, slander and dispute, defame and cruelty. The shiftless creature who knows not his own good, resenting advice, to his betters rude. The man whom wrongdoing drives, whom friends despise. He is my friend, in him my pleasure lies. Then the great being, blaming her, spoke the 8th stanza. Kali, depart. There's nothing to please you here. To other lands and cities disappear. Kalakanni, hearing him, was sorrowful and spoke another stanza. I know you well. There's nothing to please me here. Others are luckless, who amass much gear. My brother God and I will make it disappear. When she had gone, Sire the goddess, coming with clothings and ointment of golden color and ornament of golden brightness to the door of the presence chamber, diffusing yellow light, rested with even feet on level ground and stood respectful. The bodhisattva seeing her repeated the 1st stanza. Who is this, divine of color, on the ground so firm and true? Who are you, whose daughter, say? How are we to know you, I request? Sire, hearing him, spoke the 2nd stanza. The great King Dhartaratha is my sire. Fortune and luck are my, and wisdom men admire. Grant me the house room with you I desire. Then, what the conduct, what the ways, of the men with whom you dwell? This is what my question prays. We will know your answer well. He who in cold and heat, in wind and sun, mid thirst and hunger, snake and poison fly, his present duty night and day has done. With him I dwell and love him faithfully, gentle and friendly, righteous, liberal, without deceit and honest, upright, winning, simple, meek in high place. I tinge his fortunes all, like waves their color through ocean that expand, to friend or unfriend, better, like or worse, helper or rival, by dark or open day. Whosoever is kind, without harsh word or curse, I am his friend, living or dead, always. But if a fool have won some love from me, and grows proud and vain, his disobedient path of wrong I flee, like filthy stain. Each man's fortune and misfortune are his own work, not another's. Neither fortune nor misfortune can a man make for his brothers. Such was Sire's answer when questioned by the merchant. The bodhisattva rejoiced at Sire's words, and said, Here is the pure seat and bed, proper for you. Sit and lie down there. She stayed there and in the morning departed to the heaven of the 4 great kings and bathed first in Lake Anguttara. The bed used by Sire was called Sirikālakaṇṇi. Hence is the origin of Sirikālakaṇṇi, and for this reason it is so called to this day. After the lesson the master identified the birth. At that time the goddess Sire was Upalavanna, the merchant Suchiparavara was myself. Source. Adapted from archaic translation by H. T. Francis and R. A. Neal. Jataka number 383. Kukkuṭa-Jātaka. Bird with wings, etc. The master told this tale in Jetavana monastery, concerning a brother who longed for the world. The master asked him, Why do you long for the world? Lord, through passion, for I saw a woman adorned. Brother, women are like cats, deceiving and cajoling to bring to ruin one who has come into their power. So he told an old tale. Once upon a time when Brahmadatta was king in Benares, the bodhisattva was born as a cock and lived in the forest with a group of attendants of many hundred cocks. Not far away lived a she-cat. And she deceived by crafty ways the other cocks except the bodhisattva and ate them. But the bodhisattva did not fall into her power. She thought, This cock is very crafty, but he knows not that I am crafty and skillful in clever ways. It will be good that I will persuade him, saying, I will be your wife, and so eat him when he comes into my power. She went to the root of the tree where he perched, and praying him in a speech preceded by praise of his beauty, she spoke the first stanza. Bird with wings that flash so bright-colored, crest that droops so gracefully. I will be your wife for nothing, leave the branch and come to me. The bodhisattva hearing her thought, she has eaten all my relatives. Now she wishes to persuade me and eat me. I will get rid of her. So he spoke the second stanza. Lady fair and winning, you have 4 feet, I have only 2. Beasts and birds should never marry. For some other husband sue. Then she thought, he is exceedingly crafty. By some clever means or other I will deceive him and eat him. So she spoke the third stanza. I will bring you youth and beauty, pleasant speech and courtesy. Honored wife or simple slave girl, at your pleasure deal with me. Then the bodhisattva thought, it is best to insult her and drive her away, so he spoke the fourth stanza. You have drunk my family's blood, and robbed and killed them cruelly. Honored wife. There is no honor in your heart when wooing me. She was driven away and did not endure to look at him again. So when they see a hero, women sly, to tempt him try. He that to great occasion fails to rise. Under enemymen's feet in sorrow fallen lies. One prompt a crisis in his fate to see. As cock from cat, escapes his enemy. These are stanzas inspired by perfect wisdom. His lesson ended, the master explained the truths and identified the birth. After the truths, the backsliding brother was established in the fruition of the first path. At that time the cock was myself.